So today I installed a Scanmaster G on my 1993 GMC Typhoon. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go into details of how to install the gauge itself, but what's not so straightforward is doing the Bluetooth aspect of it. That was a big deciding factor for me getting the G versus the traditional Scanmaster that I had, was that I wanted Bluetooth. I didn't want to have to deal with all these different adapters and whatever. And part of this confusion was I actually had a Scanmaster, I think it's a 2.1, which is slightly different than the 3 to my understanding. The 3 was optimized for the cyan ties, and from what I could gather was a different cable than the 2.1. And anyways, the 2.1 was this really bright blue, and so that was another deciding factor for getting the Scanmaster G, just to keep everything a little bit cleaner, and that blue was really damn bright. But being able to utilize the Bluetooth connection was not so straightforward, like I said in the instructions. So there's a couple things here. We'll kind of switch on over to my laptop. So what we've got here is Tuner Pro RT. You're going to go ahead and download that from the Tuner Pro website. Once you get that downloaded, you want to go ahead and go to the Turbo Tweak support forum. You can go to the ADX file for Scanmaster G, and you go ahead and download that Scanmaster G zip. Once you do that, you go ahead and drop that file down into where your Turbo Tweak, where your Tuner Pro RT was downloaded to. So you'll drop your, I think it's the, what do they call it, the ADX file. That's where you'll ultimately wind up dropping this thing. So once you've done that, you go into your Tuner Pro RT. You're going to go ahead and go into load definition file, which is where you're going to find that ADX. That's the thing that's provided on the Turbo Tweak site. You go ahead, you open that. I'm not going to do that because I've already done it. You'll be able to see up top, once you've got that loaded in properly, that's your reference right there. The next thing that you'll want to do, now that you have that, is you're going to want to make sure that your gauge is found via Bluetooth. So if I just type in Bluetooth and other device settings, you'll see I've got my Scanmaster already paired. The biggest deal with this is that you want to find the port number, or sorry, the COM port. So when I go to my Scanmaster, you go to hardware, and you can see COM5. Okay, that's just what it is for me. Going to be totally different for you guys, I'm sure. From there, you're going to want to go back to your Tuner Pro. You're going to go to, I believe it is Tools. Yep. And then Preferences. I want to make sure everything looks like that. Okay. And you go to Configure Plugin Component. It'll take a second to load here. Okay. So, like I said, my truck is off, okay? But it's really important that you pick the proper COM port. For me, the last time I used it, it was COM5. I'll have to verify that the next time I check the truck. More than likely, it's going to still be COM5, but make sure you change the COM port to whatever it says under your device settings for your Scanmaster, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that for me. Once that's done, you go ahead and click the Acquire Data, Connect and Disconnect. down here, you're going to see it trying to connect. After a few seconds, it should connect, and you should be able to go ahead and see what's going on and do all your data logging via Bluetooth. You know, I figured I would just take a second here to try to explain that and hopefully help someone out with their SciTi and their Scanmaster G, because it took me quite a while. The instructions, I would venture to say, were kind of maybe copied and pasted from other things. It wasn't really all that user friendly. So like I said, hopefully this helps someone out.